Maya.
Okay, I'm here with Dee Dee Letts from the Honolulu Judiciary. Is that why I should say that, Dee Dee?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The First Circuit.
Okay, First Circuit. Okay, great. And Dee Dee, you have come into this community of practice and been a major team, state team player for the last few years. So how did you come into the community practice? How did that happen for you?
Oh, I got into the community practice because I was doing work with Stephen already on the children's community councils, because they represent families and non-family members working with kids with special needs. And we see a lot of our kids in the judiciary. And one of my goals, I first got brought into the judiciary to work on the Felix consent decree. So one of my focuses has always been, how do we keep kids out of our system? So I've been very interested in working with other agencies, because the judiciary, traditionally, we don't do anything till they show up at our door. And then we decide whether we're going to send them home, whether we're going to lock them up, whether we're going to ask somebody to provide services or not. And my whole thing was, I want to stop the pipeline of kids coming into the judiciary. And in order to do that, I have to move outside the judiciary to work with those parents and agencies that are seeing those kids before they arrive on my doorstep. So it was a natural for me.
Perfect. That's very encouraging. The idea that community practice creates that place where people that care about an issue can come together, and then find somebody like you that can really bring in somebody else and bring in a whole other
and working with a group of people that come together around a passion that our whole thing here is what's best for the future generations, instead of how do we make our jobs easier. It's great.
Absolutely, that's right. So, what would you say? It sounds already like you sort of had a personal orientation in your own life toward this kind of an approach. But how would you say that being a part of the community practice here in Hawaii is changing you?
It's enabled me to take a lot of skills that I've had from my background as a trainer, facilitator, mediator, and really look at them in a different context. Look at them as we use the term, I can stand in front of a group and facilitate, or I can kind of use it from my seat to figure out how I better listen to what other people need, and then how I try and take those diverse needs around the table, including my own, and put them into a situation where everybody's seeing some of their needs met, so that everybody stays at the table and continues. So I've gotten a lot better at listening, and I've gotten a lot better at recognizing that I don't have all the answers, because we all tend to think that way at times, and a lot better at trying to help other people clarify their thinking about what is it they really need. Because people come in with positions, this is what I want. Communities of practice look at it, what do we need to make this work? What do we need to keep these kids safe? What do we need to keep these kids mentally healthy? Rather than, I need 3 more positions in order to do blank. And that's what really attracts me, and that's what I've learned, is that there's a lot of overlap in the needs.
You talked a little bit about how your own skills, your own life skills, and your own professional skills really were of use to the community of practice. And then one of the things that we've talked about a lot was this idea of sharing skills and getting skills. So the skills that you've learned from some of the other people at the table, what kinds of things has the community of practice enabled you to learn in terms of new connections, new people?
A lot of what I've learned is everybody wants to do what's best. It's just that there are system barriers that people have no idea how to get past. There are system entrenchments that have been there so long that certain agencies, certain people are viewed as, quote unquote, the bad guys. And as long as you can't knock through that, you're not going to move forward. So I've learned a lot about other people's realities that I never understood. I think I have a lot more empathy and insight to just how entrenched those barriers are and how gently. I think I've kind of learned that problem solving involves not leaving size 8 combat boot footprints on the other partner's backs, you know, but you just need to understand that it's their reality, it's where they are, you gotta meet them where they are and figure out how you make it helpful for them to move forward. What can I do to help you instead of, you know, you really ought to be doing this. It's that change and shift, and I've learned that from a lot of the partners at the table, that some of them do it better than I do, and I've watched and learned from that, and also I've watched how it helps move people by just really meeting them where they are and understanding more about the systems that I had no idea. You know, you always come in with, well, if you just do it this way, it'd be a whole lot better. But when you start to listen and really develop a relationship and want to work with a partner, you start to say, wow, you got a really tough place you're at, and it's really hard, and I get that, and you know, nobody's a bad guy here. Let's just see if we can help figure it out. And I have learned so much from the partners around realities, working in bureaucracies, trying to figure out how to make it work, that I had no idea was there. And the patience that they have, the fact that some of them can do so much good with all this stuff on top of them, it's just amazing. They're amazing people.
Thank you. So let me ask you one other thing. One of the things that we say, this would be interesting to know about the Hawaii, your perspective on the Hawaii community practice. One of the things that we say is that collectively, the individuals in the community of practice can exert a greater influence than any one individual can in their own role. Do you find that to be true here? Have you found that to be true here?
Oh, absolutely. None of the work that we've been doing would have been accomplished without all the partners at the table. I mean, it's just so fundamental that when you get a synergy, when you get a group of people together, moving toward a like vision, with a like passion, it's amazing what you can do. I mean, we've done some things that people never would have thought we'd gotten done. You know, the projects on the Big Island, the projects on... Everybody, for years, since I came on with Felix, everybody bitches about transitions. What do you do with transitions? And, you know, now they've got a transition system that's spreading through their whole complex, and I'm sure it's going to spread all through the system. And that's something that, you know, 5 years of bitching about transitions with nothing changing, that they've managed to do. And it's just pretty amazing.
Thank you, Dee Dee. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, we're done here.
Stephen, you're on. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, the
we haven't done